On Chosen One. You are not hearing this by accident. This moment was scheduled in heaven, timed by divine precision. Something shifted on December 31st, and it was not for entertainment. It was for activation. Anointed One. The Lord is positioning you at the edge of a supernatural financial breakthrough, an unexpected door, a divine transfer, a release that no human hand can block. What was delayed is being unlocked. What was held back is being returned with increase. For the God who says, "I will make a way in the wilderness," is making a way for you now. Stay present. Stay open. Heaven is speaking. Chosen One. What was uncovered on December 31st didn't just happen. It shifted the air around your life. And if you've been feeling that strange pressure in your chest, that restless turning at night, those dreams that feel too vivid to dismiss, listen closely. That is not anxiety. That is alignment. That is heaven pulling you closer, because the veil has thinned around your assignment. Anointed One. You are not imagining the way people have been acting. The sudden distance, the unusual stares, the awkward energy that wasn't there before. Some are avoiding you because their spirit can't stay comfortable around what God is awakening in you. Others are watching because they sense you're about to step into something they cannot control. And the truth is, they're right. December 31st was a divine detonation. Not loud on the outside. Sometimes the biggest explosions happen in silence, but loud in the spirit. Something about you was revealed, something that confirmed what heaven has always known. And it didn't expose you for danger, Chosen One. It exposed you for honor. Because when God decides to move you, He doesn't ask permission from the rooms that tried to keep you small. I need you to hear this without fear. Both light and darkness respond when a person's destiny crosses a threshold. That's why your atmosphere feels charged. That's why the timing feels intense. You didn't ask to be the center of attention, but you were born to carry weight. And now you're stepping into a season where your very presence will start triggering truth. There are things that were hidden, motives, conversations, plans, quiet betrayals that are beginning to crack under the pressure of what God is releasing. Not because you're hunting for them, not because you're trying to expose anyone, but because truth doesn't need permission to rise. It just rises. Like a sealed scroll being opened at the appointed time. And Chosen One, this is where the financial shift comes in. Because what God is doing in you is not only spiritual, it is practical. It touches resources, it touches access, it touches doors, it touches favor in places you don't even have the resume for. I'm talking about a divine transfer money you didn't manipulate for opportunity, you didn't beg for restoration, you didn't have to chase. Not because you're better than anyone, but because heaven is stepping into your situation and correcting what was tampered with. I've seen it happen in the most ordinary moments. I remember a season where everything looked blocked, bills, pressure delays, people acting strange, and the temptation was to panic and force outcomes. But the moment I stopped trying to wrestle control back from God, things began to move in a way I couldn't explain. A call came that shouldn't have come. A door opened that wasn't available. A debt that felt permanent suddenly shifted. It wasn't magic. It was timing. It was the hand of God arranging what my effort couldn't arrange. That's why I'm telling you, don't interpret the intensity as a warning that you're losing. Interpret it as proof that you're arriving. There is a reason the pressure has increased, because your capacity is increasing. There is a reason you've been feeling sensitive, because your discernment is sharpening. And there is a reason certain people can't look you in the eye the same way anymore, because the light on you is starting to reveal what they've kept hidden, even from themselves. Anointed One. Your blessing is not random, your increase is not accidental, your elevation is not going to be a private little moment that no one notices. This is going to be unmistakable, public enough that whispers will die, clear enough that confusion will break, clean enough that you'll know it was God, because you'll look at it and realize, I could not have produced this on my own. But here's the instruction that keeps you safe. Stay awake and stay clean. Stay awake to patterns. Stay clean in your spirit. Do not retaliate. Do not get pulled into the mud just because someone else is nervous about your rising. Keep your hands free of revenge so God can fill them with recompense. There's a difference between fighting for your life and fighting for your ego. In this season, you're not being asked to prove yourself, you're being asked to trust the one who is proving you. And chosen one, I'm going to say this gently but clearly, some of what is coming will arrive through exposure, a message that was never meant for you, a confession that slips out, a sudden apology that feels late, a conversation you overhear by accident. Don't ignore those moments. They are not random. They are heaven rearranging the truth around you. Because December 31st wasn't just a date, it was a signal. Chosen one. Now listen closely, because this is where things get very real. When heaven marks a moment, it doesn't only stir your heart, it stirs the people connected to your story. That's why you've been noticing strange shifts. It's why certain faces feel different. It's why the energy in rooms you used to belong to suddenly feels cold. You're not being paranoid, you're becoming aware. There's a spiritual law that most people don't understand until they live through it. When God decides to elevate you, the truth around you begins to surface fast. Not slowly, not politely, fast. And it doesn't always come the way you expect. Sometimes it looks like people panicking. Sometimes it looks like them acting overly nice. Sometimes it looks like sudden distance. Sometimes it looks like awkward confession. But what's really happening is this: the pressure of heaven is squeezing what's been hidden out into the open. Chosen one, that's why secret conversations happen. Not because you're important in an ego sense, because your destiny is important. When someone realizes you're not stuck anymore, when they sense you're not controllable anymore, they start scrambling. They start trying to reposition themselves. They start rewriting history. They start cleaning their tracks. And the reason it feels dramatic is because they thought they had time. I've watched this happen in normal life, in everyday settings. You ever notice how people treat you when they think you're below them? They'll speak freely, they'll underestimate you, they'll smile while they minimize you. But the moment you start rising, when you get that new opportunity, when your confidence shifts, when your peace becomes unshakable, they suddenly change. They start complimenting you more. They start checking in. They start acting like they were always for you. That's not love. That's adjustment. That's someone responding to a new reality. And in the spirit, it's even sharper. Because some people weren't just casually around you, they were benefiting from you not knowing who you are. They were benefiting from you doubting your discernment. They were benefiting from you staying quiet. They were benefiting from you staying in your old identity. But now, something has awakened. And it's not just your confidence, it's your calling. Anointed one. Here's what I need you to understand: what's coming is not only emotional healing, it's also material correction. God is not only restoring your peace, He's restoring what was drained, what was delayed, what was diverted. That's why the atmosphere is tense. Because when resources are about to shift, people who have been feeding off your silence start feeling exposed. And you're going to see signs, practical signs. One sign is this: messages resurface, old screenshots, old conversations. A random piece of information that suddenly makes sense. A person slips and reveals what they really knew. A friend accidentally mentions something that confirms your intuition. You won't have to hunt for evidence. Evidence will start finding you. It's like God is turning on lights in rooms you never entered. Another sign is this: invitations cancel, plans fall apart, situations you were supposed to walk into suddenly dissolve. And at first you might feel disappointed, like, why did that door close? But later you'll realize it was protection, because not every open door is God's door. Sometimes the enemy sets a door and calls it opportunity, but the Lord blocks it because your name is too guarded to be used as entertainment. I've lived that kind of protection. I remember being inches away from a decision that looked good on paper. Everyone around me thought it was the obvious move, but something in my spirit felt heavy. Not fear, warning. And when I listened, the whole thing collapsed within days. At the time, it felt like loss. Later, I saw it was mercy. It was the Lord stepping between me and a trap that would have cost me more than money, peace, identity, time. Chosen one. That's why I'm telling you, stay sensitive, but don't be scared. Because your sensitivity is not weakness. It's a gift. It's discernment. It's heaven training your inner hearing. And the more you honor it, the clearer things get. You'll start recognizing who drains you and who deepens you. You'll feel when someone's smile doesn't match their spirit. You'll notice the subtle flinch when you mention God, or when you speak about purpose, or when you stand in truth without apologizing. And yes, there may be someone close to you who is pretending. Not everyone who hugs you is for you. Not everyone who claps is celebrating. Some people clap to count your steps. Some people compliment you to collect information. But don't get bitter, chosen. 1. Bitterness makes you predictable. Wisdom makes you untouchable. Your instruction right now is simple: move with peace. Speak less, watch more. Don't announce your next move to people who couldn't celebrate your last one. Keep your heart clean, your boundaries strong, and your prayers consistent. Because the transfer that's coming will require you to be steady. It will require your character to match your calling. And when it starts manifesting, when the unexpected favor hits, when the financial breakthrough opens, when the right door swings wide, you will know it wasn't luck. It was alignment. It was heaven stepping in and saying, enough. This is mine. Chosen one. The reason this feels so intense is because it's not just a season of change. It's a season of separation. And separation is never comfortable. It's the moment God starts moving you out of spaces that were familiar but not faithful. Out of patterns that felt normal but were draining your future. Out of relationships where you were loved for what you provided, not honored for who you are. That's why you've been feeling that inner tension, like you can't go back to the old you, but you haven't fully stepped into the new yet. That in-between space can feel lonely, and I need you to hear me. Loneliness in a consecrated season is not abandonment. It's refinement. It's God removing noise so you can hear direction. Because the transfer that's coming to you isn't only about money. It's about authority. It's about access. It's about a new spiritual position where your yes carries weight. And in that realm, chosen one, not everyone can come with you. Some people would contaminate what God is trying to bless. Some people would sabotage you without even realizing they're doing it, simply because they can't handle your increase. I've had to learn this the hard way. There was a time I thought being good meant letting everyone close. I thought loyalty meant over-explaining myself. I thought love meant keeping the door open, no matter how many times someone walked in and left a mess. But I found out something: when God starts elevating you, you can't treat your access like it's cheap. because what you're carrying becomes expensive in the spirit. That's why the Lord starts training you with boundaries. Not harshness, not suspicion. Boundaries are not bitterness. Boundaries are stewardship. Boundaries are you saying, I'm responsible for what God placed on my life. Some people call that being distant, but heaven calls it being wise. Now you may be noticing strange little things. A person who used to text you all the time suddenly goes quiet. Another person suddenly becomes very curious about your plans. Somebody asks questions that don't feel like care, they feel like investigation. And you might feel that old reflex rising, the desire to explain yourself, the desire to prove your heart, the desire to keep the peace. Chosen one, this is where you must grow. Peace is not something you maintain by shrinking. Peace is something you protect by standing in truth. You don't owe your future to people who only loved you when you were convenient. You don't owe explanations to people who already decided how they want to see you. And you definitely don't owe access to someone who keeps showing you they don't know how to honor it. Because what's coming is going to be visible. The shift won't stay hidden. The blessing won't stay quiet. The promotion won't be something you can downplay to keep others comfortable, and that's why certain people are nervous, because once God lifts you, it will expose who was truly for you and who was only tolerating you. But let me calm your spirit. You don't have to expose anyone. You don't have to announce betrayal. You don't have to defend your name. God knows how to vindicate without you losing your purity. And that is the most powerful kind of victory, when you rise with clean hands. Here's what I want you to watch for next, Anointed One, the shift in your appetite. You may stop craving certain conversations. You may feel irritated by gossip, drained by complaining, exhausted by people who stay in circles. That's not you being too good. That's you being called higher. When your spirit starts rejecting what it used to tolerate, it means your frequency is changing, and your environment will either rise with you or resist you. Now about the financial breakthrough, because I know that's what your heart is quietly hoping for, even if you don't say it out loud. It's going to come with speed, but it will also come with tests. There will be a moment where you're tempted to speak too soon, to tell the wrong person, to celebrate with someone who secretly resents you. There will be a moment where you're tempted to spend from excitement, to move from emotion, to react, instead of respond. And this is why heaven has been training your discipline, because increase without wisdom becomes another trap. I remember a time when I finally saw a door open after a long, dry season. It felt like relief, like oxygen. And the first impulse was to tell everyone, to prove that I wasn't stuck, to show that God came through. But something in me said, move quietly. So I did. I thanked God in private. I wrote it down. I prayed over it, and later I realized why. Because not everyone can handle your testimony. Some people turn your testimony into a target. Chosen one, move with humility and strategy. The blessing is yours. You don't need applause to confirm it. And there is one line of scripture that keeps me steady in moments like this. In quietness and trust shall be your strength. Not because you're weak, but because you're learning how to let God fight without you interfering. So breathe. Don't rush. Don't panic. Don't over-explain. Let the Lord separate what needs to be separated. Let Him remove what needs to be removed. Because when the transfer lands, you're going to need clean space to hold it. And when it happens, chosen one, you will not just feel rich. You will feel free. Chosen one, let me take you deeper into what freedom will actually feel like, because the blessing God is preparing isn't just a number in an account. It's a shift in your spirit. It's waking up without dread. It's breathing without that invisible weight on your chest. It's realizing you're no longer living in survival mode, and that's why the resistance has been so loud. Because certain battles aren't about your paycheck, they're about your posture. The enemy would rather keep you exhausted than defeated. He'd rather keep you distracted than destroyed. Because if you ever fully stand up in who God says you are, you become dangerous to every system that benefited from your silence. But hear me, Anointed One, your season is turning. You're going to notice small signs first, quiet confirmations, a sudden peace where you used to spiral, a new confidence to say no without guilt, a refusal to chase people who keep choosing distance. And along with that inner shift, practical movement will begin. A call, an email, a door opening through someone who just thought of you, a favor that feels too precise to be coincidence. It will be the kind of alignment where you look back and realize heaven was arranging pieces while you were praying in the dark. Now this is the part where many chosen ones get nervous when the blessing approaches. Old connections resurface. Someone who disappeared may suddenly become friendly. Someone who underestimated you may suddenly compliment you. Someone who had access to your personal life may suddenly want to catch up, and you must not let nostalgia override discernment. Not every reconnection is reconciliation. Sometimes it's simply a test of boundaries. I've seen this up close. There were moments I wanted closure so badly that I almost reopened a door God had already shut for my protection. But the Holy Spirit was gentle and firm. You asked me to show you what's real. Now honor what I showed you. And I'm passing that same wisdom to you, chosen one, because the transfer you're stepping into, financial, relational, spiritual, requires clean access points. You can't pour fresh oil into a contaminated vessel and expect peace. That's why God has been pruning. That's why things have been falling away without explanation. That's why you've been feeling separated, even in a room full of people. Heaven is making space. So here is your instruction: stay steady. Don't announce every blessing while it's still forming. Don't debate with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Don't trade your peace for a moment of proving yourself. Keep your spirit soft, but your boundaries strong. Keep your gratitude loud in private, and your discernment louder in your decisions. And when it finally lands, when the breakthrough becomes undeniable, you will know this: it wasn't luck. It wasn't timing you created. It was God honoring endurance, rewarding surrender, and lifting the one who stayed faithful when nobody clapped. Chosen one. Now let me speak to the part of you that's been trying to stay strong while quietly asking, why did it take so long? Because that question doesn't make you faithless. It makes you human. There are seasons where you pray, you wait, you do the right thing, you keep your heart clean, and still it feels like nothing is moving. And that's when the enemy whispers, maybe you missed it. Maybe you're not really chosen. Maybe God forgot. But hear me clearly, Anointed One, delay is not denial. And in your case, the wait was not punishment. The wait was preparation. There are certain blessings God will not release until your foundation can hold them. Because if He gives you increase before your identity is healed, you'll spend the blessing trying to prove yourself. If He gives you public favor before your spirit is steady, you'll become addicted to applause. If He gives you access before your discernment is trained, you'll call every open door God and walk into traps that look like opportunities. So yes, it took time. Not because heaven was slow, because heaven was strategic. I want you to think about how many times you were protected and didn't even know it. How many times you almost trusted the wrong person? How many times you were moments away from attaching yourself to something that would have drained your future? How many times you would have taken a shortcut if the pain didn't force you to pause? Sometimes the greatest mercy isn't what God gives you, it's what He refuses to let you touch. And if you're honest, chosen one, Some of your deepest growth came from the very season you hated. I know that because I've lived it. I've had seasons where I felt overlooked, where I watched other people receive what I prayed for, where I kept showing up with quiet faith while my circumstances didn't change. And in that place, the Lord did something in me that I didn't ask for, but I needed. He stripped me of performance. He stripped me of needing to be chosen by people. He stripped me of chasing validation. Because the truth is, you can't carry kingdom increase while still begging for human permission. Now about December 31st. Because the revelation that was uncovered didn't only shift the atmosphere, it also started a countdown, a divine timer. That's why you've been feeling time differently. Like something is approaching, like the air is heavy and light at the same time, like you can sense movement you can't explain. That's not your imagination. That is your spirit registering the nearness of fulfillment. And here's what fulfillment often looks like right before it manifests: exposure, acceleration, and realignment. Exposure, because what's hidden can't stay hidden when God is about to bless you. Not because God is petty, but because He is protective. He will not build your next season on a lie. He will not elevate you while someone has secret access to sabotage you. So He shines light. He brings conversations to the surface. He causes masks to slip, not so you can fight, so you can walk forward clean. Acceleration, because when God decides now, the pace changes. Things that were stuck start moving. Doors that were closed begin to open. You meet the right person at the right moment. You get the call that shifts everything. And it can feel overwhelming because you spent so long waiting that you forget how to move when things start happening quickly. And realignment, because the blessing requires your life to match it. New habits, new boundaries, new priorities. Not because God is controlling, but because He's building capacity. The transfer isn't just money, it's responsibility, it's stewardship, it's influence. It's an open window where what you touch begins to prosper. And that kind of grace requires a clean inner life. Chosen one, I want you to understand something. The people who are afraid are not necessarily afraid of you. They're afraid of what your elevation will reveal about them. When you rise, it exposes who lied. When you rise, it exposes who pretended. When you rise, it exposes who benefited from you being quiet. And that's why some people act strange right now. That's why some are trying to position themselves around you again. They can sense your season is changing, and they want to be close to what God is doing without honoring the cost it took to get there. But you must be wise, anointed one, not suspicious wise. Wisdom looks like moving quietly. It looks like not sharing every detail. It looks like not explaining your discernment to someone who profits from your confusion. It looks like praying before responding. It looks like choosing peace over proving a point, because there's a blessing coming that will require your emotional discipline. You will have to resist the urge to clap back. You will have to resist the urge to announce every victory to people who aren't safe. You will have to resist the urge to spend your new season trying to correct old narratives. Let God handle the narrative. Your job is to walk. And let me prophesy this gently: you will receive good news that changes the atmosphere around your name. It may come through a financial door, an approval, a contract, a new position, an unexpected payout, a cleared debt, a raise that surprises you. It may come through a relationship door, reconciliation with someone pure, a divine connection that supports your calling, a mentor who sees you clearly. Or it may come through a justice door, something being exposed that you never even asked to be exposed, something being corrected that you thought would never be addressed. But however it arrives, it will carry one clear signature: peace. Not chaos, not desperation. Peace. Chosen one. You are not entering a season where you have to fight for scraps. You are entering a season where heaven is intervening, and when God intervenes, what belongs to you doesn't have to be chased. It finds you. Chosen one. Let me anchor you in what to do when it starts finding you, because this is where many people lose their footing, not because the blessing is bad, but because it's unfamiliar. You've been in survival so long that peace can feel suspicious. You've been overlooked so long that favor can feel unreal. But this is why God trained you in the wilderness, so you don't mismanage the promised land. When the door opens, don't sprint in emotion. Walk in obedience. There's going to be an urge to talk, to explain, to prove, to announce. Resist that. This is a season where silence becomes wisdom. Protect what God is building. Some things are meant to be celebrated after they're established, not while they're still forming. And chosen one, pay attention to your atmosphere. Your spirit has become sensitive for a reason. If certain conversations drain you now, it's because they don't belong where you're going. If certain people feel heavy now, it's because they're carrying motives you're no longer assigned to entertain. Don't feel guilty for choosing distance. You're not rejecting people, you're honoring the oil on your life. Here's a simple way to discern. Watch what happens when you speak light. When you mention God, do they soften or do they flinch? When you speak purpose, do they encourage you or do they change the subject? When you talk about growth, do they celebrate or do they joke to minimize? You don't need a confrontation. You need clarity. And clarity is coming through patterns, not one-time moments. Now let me say something that will keep your heart clean. The blessing is not your weapon. God is not elevating you so you can humiliate anyone. He's elevating you to heal what your bloodline has carried, to break cycles, to become proof that mercy is real, and you will be tested, chosen one, especially in private. The test won't always be, will you sin? Sometimes the test is, will you become proud? Will you become cold? Will you start treating people the way they treated you? Stay soft, stay humble, stay anchored, because the transfer is coming with a purpose. It's not just to relieve you, it's to reposition you. You're going to have resources to help others. You're going to have influence to shift rooms. You're going to have authority to say no without fear. And that's why the enemy tried so hard to keep you bitter, because bitterness would poison what God planned to pour through you. So keep your spirit clean. Keep forgiving, not because people deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Keep praying, not as a performance, but as alignment. Keep listening to that quiet nudge that says, don't respond, don't go, wait, move. And one more thing, chosen one, expect the confirmation to come in layers. First peace, then clarity, then movement, then provision. The Lord is not dropping you into chaos. He's leading you into order. And as the order settles, you will begin to see it. The same hand that preserved you in the fire is now placing you on higher ground, where the air is clearer, the vision is sharper, and your life finally has room to breathe. Chosen one. This is the moment where discernment becomes protection and obedience becomes acceleration. When God moves you into a higher level, the enemy rarely attacks the blessing directly. He attacks your focus, your emotions, your routines, and your mouth. He tries to pull you into reactions that drain the strength you will need to sustain what is coming. I'm speaking to you as someone who has learned this in ordinary life, in traffic, in family tension, in messages that arrive at the wrong time, and in seasons where the breakthrough was close, but panic tried to masquerade as wisdom. The loudest battles were not always dramatic. They were quiet wars. Inside me, will I trust God, or will I force control? Chosen one, when you are close to a shift, life starts pressing buttons. Not random buttons, old triggers, old insecurities, familiar faces repeating patterns. It is as if darkness says, let's see if they still respond like the old version. And if you respond like the old version, you delay what the new version is ready to carry. So heaven is calling you to divine precision. Precision looks like responding slowly. It looks like praying before speaking. It looks like refusing to argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you. It looks like declining the invitation that looks shiny but feels heavy. It looks like resting when your ego wants to prove you are productive. Peace is not passive, chosen one. Peace is power under control, and you will need that power now because your life is becoming a sign. People are watching with their eyes and with their spirits. Some are inspired, some are convicted, some are jealous. You cannot manage all of those reactions. That is not your assignment. Your assignment is alignment. Imagine you are carrying a cup filled to the brim. Every unnecessary argument is a bump. Every emotional reply is a shake. Every time you entertain drama, you spill what God poured. That is why the Lord has been teaching you to guard your joy. Joy keeps you steady. Joy keeps you from spilling. Now hear this, the next stage of your transfer will require you to recognize counterfeit urgency. Counterfeit urgency says, respond now or you'll lose it. Explain now. Say yes now. Defend yourself now. But divine timing does not need panic. If it is for you, it will remain for you. If it is from God, it will carry clarity, not confusion. Chosen one. There are watchers, people who monitor you, not because they love you, but because they are trying to decode you. You do not need to expose them. You do not need to confront them. You simply need to stop feeding them information. Silence is holy in this season. Stop broadcasting your next step to people who have not earned trust. Stop handing your dreams to mouths that gossip for sport. Stop explaining your boundaries to those who profit from your confusion. Not everyone is evil, but not everyone is safe. Safety is spiritual, who has access to your peace, your confidence, your decisions, because if someone can talk you out of peace, they can talk you out of alignment. So choose your circle carefully. Choose mentors, not spectators. Choose friends who pray, not friends who collect rumors. And if God has you in a quiet stretch right now, do not panic. Sometimes He removes the old before He introduces the new. The gap is not punishment, it is preparation. And yes, the financial door is opening often through wisdom, skill, and timely connection, not drama. Keep showing up, anointed one. Keep doing the small things with excellence. Keep praying when it is quiet. Heaven keeps records and God lifts what stayed faithful in secret. Remember, chosen one. God prepares a table in the presence of enemies, not so you stare at them, but so you eat in peace. Your success will speak without shouting. Let your posture stay grateful, your hands stay clean, and your steps stay guided by heaven. Do not let their fear become your focus. Let God be your focus. Walk into this transfer with peace, wisdom, and a clean spirit, ready not only to receive, but to sustain. Chosen one. I want you to understand fully what happens after the table is prepared and the doors begin to open. There is a moment when heaven answers, and suddenly your life looks different, but your heart still remembers the old pressure. That is why this season requires more than excitement. It requires maturity, because the blessing isn't only arriving to change your bank account, it is arriving to change your agreement with fear. You've lived too long making decisions from survival, choosing what was available instead of what was aligned, accepting crumbs because you didn't want to ask for too much, staying quiet because you didn't want to be a burden. But now, God is rewriting the contract. He is teaching you to receive without apology. And I know receiving can feel harder than struggling. Struggle is familiar. Struggle gives you a script. You know how to grind, how to endure, how to carry weight. But receiving requires you to trust that God is good even when you're not proving yourself. Receiving requires you to let go of the identity that was built around pain. I remember a season when I finally got the opportunity I had prayed for, and instead of celebrating, I felt nervous. I kept thinking, what if I mess this up? What if they change their mind? What if I don't deserve it? That wasn't humility. That was trauma trying to disguise itself as caution. And the Lord corrected me. Stop calling insecurity wisdom. That word freed me. It taught me that peace is not something you earn after you suffer enough. Peace is a gift you honor. Chosen one, your gift is increasing. Your favor is increasing. Your influence is increasing. And that's why the Lord is also increasing your discernment. He's teaching you to move like someone who is covered. So when the next confirmation shows up, an approval, a contract, a new client, a promotion, a surprising opportunity, don't rush to narrate it to everyone. Let it settle. Pray over it. Ask God for strategy. Ask for timing. Ask for the right voices around you. Some blessings are meant to be protected in silence before they are announced. Now listen closely, anointed one. There will be people who suddenly become nice when your season changes. They will speak softly because they want access. They will compliment you because they want proximity. And you may feel tempted to let them back in because part of you still craves harmony. But harmony with the wrong people is expensive. It costs you peace. It costs you clarity. It costs you time. Don't confuse a polite message with a pure heart. Watch patterns. Watch consistency. Watch fruit. If someone only honors you when you are rising, they did not honor you when you were refining. And you don't punish them, you just don't hand them the steering wheel. This is where your boundaries become holy. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They are gates to keep purpose safe. Your no is not cruelty. Your no is stewardship. And here is the subtle scripture I want resting in your spirit. Without turning this into a sermon, God is not the author of confusion. If a situation brings pressure without peace, if it demands secrecy without integrity, if it asks you to compromise to belong, step back. God can move fast, but He does not move twisted. He can accelerate you without bending your character. Chosen one. December 31 is not just a date in your title. It's a reminder that heaven has appointed moments. Moments where the veil lifts, where clarity comes, where old cycles break, where new doors appear. You may not know the full story yet, but you are being guided into it. So breathe. Keep your spirit clean. Keep your eyes forward. Keep your prayer life simple and honest. Lord, lead me. Lord, guard me. Lord, teach me. And when the transfer lands, receive it with gratitude, manage it with wisdom, and use it with humility. You are not being blessed to become loud. You are being blessed to become stable. Because the real miracle is not that money comes. The real miracle is that peace stays. Chosen one. As we close this moment, I want you to feel the peace of heaven settling over you. Nothing about this word was random. Nothing about your timing was accidental. You were pulled here by divine appointment, and what God revealed is not meant to frighten you. It's meant to fortify you. Anointed One, hear this with your spirit. The transfer is already in motion. The shifting you've been sensing is real. The doors that looked sealed are loosening. The burdens that clung to your name are breaking. This is your kairos, your appointed hour, where what was delayed is being released with precision, and what was hidden is being restored with honor. So, I bless you now. May your mind be steady, your heart be clean, and your discernment be sharp. May every counterfeit connection fall away without pain, and every divine connection find you without effort. May you walk in quiet confidence, refusing retaliation, refusing fear, refusing distraction. And may the God who preserved you in the fire now crown you in the open. Chosen One, stay aligned. Stay faithful, stay grateful before you see it, as you see it, and after it manifests. If this word resonated, leave an amen in the comments as your agreement with heaven and share what your spirit felt. Subscribe if you're called to walk with us, because more is coming. Until next time, walk boldly, speak wisely, and carry the fragrance of destiny everywhere you go.